Hi, everybody. Welcome once again to a Low on Health Daily Rambling. Me kind of going just what I've been doing recently. Today I spent a lot of time just kind of watching stuff, and I also did spend a good chunk of time playing Modern Warfare 2 again, which for some reason that game is just addicting now that we kind of have a good solid team and kind of crew together to kind of work on leveling up and getting things done. So a special shout out to Darren and Trent for helping me out get that done. But I just want to move on to some things that I watched recently. Apparently, Tracy Morgan has a new movie coming out with Bruce Willis, which is new to me, called Cop Out. In which case they play like a cop duo, and there's a plot. It's more or less a comedy with Bruce Willis and Tracy Morgan, which sounds like a comedy gold. And apparently Tracy Morgan was on The Daily Show, doing kind of some promos for it, which normally, knowing Tracy Morgan, he's just a funny guy, and I love him in 30 Rock, and I love him in a lot of things he does. But basically, recently he did a little interview thing on Jon Stewart, in which case I recommend everybody kind of give that a little watch. This little thing on Jon Stewart, it's definitely worth. It's just funny. Just go to Comedy Central, watch the interview. It's 7 minutes long, and usually I don't like the interviews, but Tracy Morgan is just comedy gold. Check that out. It was definitely really, really funny. Moving on here. Moving on, a movie I watched today was Boondock Saints 2, which I don't know if some of you know. Boondock Saints is kind of this movie that was released a while back, basically kind of like a vigilante brother team. Some Irishmen. Let me get the trailer going here. Hopefully it won't get blocked because of it. Anyway, this is the sequel to it. It takes place 8 years after the first movie, in which case they come back to Boston and kind of chaos ensues. But it's just a really great movie. If you love the first one, this one's just as good and just as funny. It's just awesome. It's got action and everything. And if you haven't seen Boondock Saints, I definitely recommend it. It's a good movie to see. Watch Boondock Saints, the first one. I mean, you have to watch it before you watch the second one. But the second one is just as good as the first one. So some of you out there that was kind of wondering about it, it's just worth it. It's a very funny movie, really good action-packed movie. Kind of over the top, not really. It is based in some reality. I mean, it's not totally out there like shoot 'em up. But it's just a really good movie. I'm going to keep saying that a bunch more times, and you guys should really watch the movie. Moving on here. Another movie I watched today was called Extract, which is from Mike Judge, who basically is the guy that brought us, the old people, if you remember him. Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill basically created those two. He also did Office Space, which if you haven't seen Office Space, then you shouldn't be even watching this. And he also did, in 2006, I think it was, Idiocracy, which is an awesome, great dystopian movie, which I really enjoyed and recommend Idiocracy to anybody. But this is this 2009 movie, in which case it's right on par. Usually I don't like these types of films, because they're kind of family and situational based, but luckily there's no stupid kids involved in this one. You kind of do get the shaky marriage, which is cool and all. And usually I don't like the main character actor, because as a lot of people know, I'm not a big fan of the Arrested Development, and I'll probably discuss that at some other point in time about my Arrested Development not liking. But he's a great actor. I'm not gonna knock it up against him. And this movie is just fantastic. If you're a fan of his Mike Judge work, then definitely watch Extract, and if you don't know about it, watch it. Moving on here, an anime series which I was currently watching and have finished is basically the Anime Works Night Hunters, which is kind of your basic anime series of, once again, vigilantes kind of doing what the law can't and taking out bad guys. It does kind of give you that yaoi vibe because they're a bunch of pretty boys and they work in a flower shop. But it's a nice little basic anime series. It's an old one. And what I kind of liked about Anime Works, the people that brought it over to the States, it's the same thing they do with like Berserk and their other things. Is they have dub outtakes, which aren't like the stupid "oop, I screwed up my line" outtakes. They have a lot of just funny dubbing over the lines that are situational to the anime and whatnot, which I do enjoy. Not the greatest anime series in the world. I mean, if I had to rate it, as I'm starting to do, I would give it kind of like a 7. I did watch it dubbed. And actually most of it I watch while like riding up and doing other stuff. It's a nice little anime series to kind of have in your top right hand corner and just watch out of the corner of your eye. But Night Hunters, decent little show. I would recommend it if you have another anime series to watch, and it's nice just to kind of see the throwbacks. I mean, this is kind of like a nice genre piece, and would recommend it to people. It is extremely kind of yaoi-ish though. Moving on to the GameFly queue here. I took Deadly Premonition back off of my queue because it wasn't getting great reviews and I had low availability, and put Divinity 2, Ego Dracos, which I was debating on playing for the PC, but figured I'd do it on the 360, in which case it's also not getting that great reviews. But figure I might need a game with a little bit more meat in it than my usual 8 to 10 hour games, which Final Fantasy 13 is probably going to be the other one that's going to be a decent long game. Which, at least Divinity 2 has a high availability. I hope to get that kind of, within the weekend or for a little bit next week. Darksiders is also still in there just in case, that becomes available. And then, of course, I definitely need to make sure I have open slots for Final Fantasy and Yakuza, which is next week. Which I am still not really looking forward towards 13. Maybe it'll surprise me. I mean, I'm really kind of just putting my expectations extremely low for it, and I'm almost kind of hoping I wow myself, or it wows me with how not bad it is. Then Yakuza 3 with the missions of the hostess thing, I can probably look over. I'll probably forget about it as long as the game is really good, in which case it should be. Other than that, sent Heavy Rain back. A lot of people are talking about it, good and bad. People basically agree that it looks great, it has a great story, but some of the gameplay and design elements aren't that great, and I'm still hanging up on the plot holes, which I'm still looking into. But other than that, as always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and if you have any comments or anything, which you shouldn't, go ahead and leave them in the comment section. Other than that, you guys have a good night, and I'll talk to you later.